Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the BB&T Arena for the very first Facebook Live chat. This is Brady Labor, and I'm joined here by Northern Kentucky University men's basketball coach, John Brannon. John, how's things going today?
It's great, Brady. I'm really excited. Our first Facebook. You know, what the fans don't know is you and I just played one-on-one on the court. We didn't get that live, did we?
I hope not, because it hurts. That's all I know. And I tell you what, it was a 0-0 tie, just so that everyone knows, because both of us did struggle to score a bucket. But we'll fix that later on. But the task at hand is we want to bring the fans kind of inside to the program and just kind of talk just Brady and John here as opposed to TV guy and coach. And it's been a year since you took over the program. Kind of talk about the state of the program and where things are at like a one-year progress report.
Well, I tell you what, Brady, it's been a whirlwind. This past year has been exciting. It's been exhilarating. We've gotten a chance to put our culture in. We've got a chance to build our program. But I feel like I've got my arms now wrapped around the program a little bit. I feel like I know the direction that we're headed in. You know, our team understands our coaching staff better, and we understand our team better. This time of year is to kind of give you guys an idea where we're at since the postseason. The season ended for us March 5th. And as soon as the season ended, we go into individual player development meetings where we talk about what guys need to do going into the spring and the summer. And we put together a 5-week plan, an 8-week summer plan, and then a 6-week fall plan. So we just ended the 5-week spring plan, and that consisted of all the returnees in one-on-one skill development with the coaches. Each player knows exactly what their weight needs to be going into the next season, whether it needs gaining or losing. They know exactly where they need to be in terms of how they're going to be utilized. And things that they need to work on. And the spring, probably more than anything, Brady, is an opportunity for our guys to focus a little bit more on the weaknesses and as we matriculate to their strengths and more team stuff when we get into the summer. So looking back on it now with these 5 weeks done, you know, the likes of Cole Murray is just blossoming, getting better. Drew McDonald's taking the next step. You know, Jordan Garnett is changing. I think people will be surprised what his body looks like come the beginning of next year. Guy like Levon Holland now has got a year under his belt in our program at Division I level. So I've seen tremendous growth in the last 5 weeks, and I'm really excited.
Okay, we have the basketball floor out here. How much of these workouts consist of on the floor activity? How much in the weight room? All the above?
Yeah, good question. The NCAA during this time of year and the summer restricts us to 2 hours for each individual player on the court. It could be different groupings. We've decided to take those 2 hours in a one-on-one workout with coaches. The rest of the 6 are from a strength and conditioning and a skill and a conditioning standpoint. So our priority has been strength and conditioning. Bodies need to change. Coach Brian Booz, our strength coach, has done an outstanding job. Nothing is more of a priority outside of the academic piece when we're just talking about basketball in the weight room. So we're going 4 days a week in the weight room. In very small groups. They're getting a lot of personalized attention this time of year.
Okay. Talk about some of those returning guys, especially your upperclassmen who've already been through the transition period, which has officially ended at the end of the school year, and now you're eligible for NCAA Tournament run, and you're going to have to count on some of the older guys.
Yeah, I told our guys, you know, we have a heralded freshman class coming in, a recruiting class, but the bottom line is the success of a program always consists with the returnees because they know what the system is and they have an opportunity to get better with the coach's tutelage throughout the year. So, you know, some of the likes I mentioned, I'm excited about Levon Holland, the opportunity he gets to take in the next step. Only a sophomore last year, the first year at this level. You know, Drew McDonald, who came in and probably passed up his own expectations for his freshman year, but we have even higher expectations for a sophomore year. He's at 250 pounds right now.
That's good.
So we're taking in, we're going to work into 260 of muscle. So he's really taking the next step. You know, Jordan Garnett's taking the next step. He's done a great job. So a lot of the guys on our team right now are getting better each and every day, and Brandon Gillis is, he'll be 235 pounds of muscle by the time the season rolls around. You won't even be able to recognize him. So the amount of time and effort that they're putting into the weight room, because it's an area that I thought we needed the most work. I thought the Horizon League exposed some things from our physicality standpoint this year, so it's something we're really attacking here in the offseason.
Now, the guys that are going into their second year, like Drew McDonald, like Brandon Gillis, they've always thought they've worked hard all their life because they did for a high school player, but it's ramped up 100 notches. Kind of talk about the transition they had to make.
Well, I tell you what, there's nothing in our society that's more relative than the term hard work. And you know, the thing with Drew, though, the high school program he came from, my brother coached him and my high school coach coached him, so I always tell him every day, I know where you come from and I know how you've been coached. We're lucky to have a lot of guys that have had tremendous high school coaching, but you never really know it until you go through the college experience and the specialization that takes place within a college environment. So I think those guys understand it. I think they're passionate. And I can only move the needle so much for a young man's commitment level. That really has got to come from inside them. And I feel like the commitment level of this team and what they've shown me in these last 5 weeks is a group of young men that are really, really excited about starting the next season and getting going.
Okay, now you got 5 guys coming in that will begin that whole transformation, and they were some impressive accolades for them to end their high school career. Kind of talk about them, starting with Carson Williams from Owen County.
Yeah, Carson Williams, a young man who was our first Kentucky Mr. Basketball here at Northern Kentucky University. A tremendous honor. He played on an outstanding basketball team. And just a young man that plays with great passion, energy, and toughness. We talk about the physicality. We need his physicality and his athleticism. Coach Duvall is an outstanding coach at Owen County, and he's a guy that's only going to get better here. The fans of Northern Kentucky will really enjoy watching Carson compete.
Mason Faulkner, another Kentucky kid who, on a smaller level, the level A as it's called here in Kentucky, put up a ton of points, ton of rebounds, and now he's going to have to make the transition in big-time Division I basketball.
Mason Faulkner, Region Player of the Year, will be in the Kentucky Indiana All-Star team. Led the state in scoring. Smooth basketball player, really enjoys playing the game. I think his upside is tremendous. I think if he comes in and changes his body and continues to build his body and understand the level of play in terms of physicality portion of the Horizon League in the next level, he'll make great strides. I look forward to watching him get better each year here because I think he's got a chance to be a special player.
And then you travel to the other side of the river up into Ohio, all the way up to Lima. Dantez Walton, he had a heck of a year, Division III Co-Player of the Year.
Division III Player of the Year, won a state championship, which we always like, guys that come from winning programs. Dantez is a guy who's a jack of all trades. He can do a lot of different things. He can defend multiple positions. He can shoot. He can put the ball on the floor. Like all our freshmen, it'll be a transition for him in terms of the physicality and the grind of a college schedule classes and basketball-wise. But he's got a humble spirit about him. He's got a spirit he wants to learn. He's constantly trying to figure out ways to get better. And when you have that and you get a chance to really groom them as a coach, that's what excites me, and Dantez really brings those qualities.
And you have a second-generation Division I college player who has an older brother already in
That's
D1,
right.
and that's Jalen Tate.
Tremendous basketball family. Dad played at Ohio State and Cincinnati. His current, his older brother plays at Ohio State now, so he knows what it's like. He's seen it. Now this will be his opportunity. Jalen's a big personality. I think the fans here in Northern Kentucky will really like him. I'm excited about the opportunity to coach him. And again, just coming in and changing his body and getting him ready for what's coming.
And then your 5th freshman signee is a guy that doesn't get talked about because he's from all the way out in Missouri, the Show Me State. How did you find Blake Spellman?
Well, Blake Spellman, who was Kansas City Player of the Year this year, Blake comes from an organization that, I don't know if fans will remember, Trevor Relaford. He was a SEC first-team all-conference player at Alabama that I recruited. And it's the same organization. So, we had great experience with Trevor. I built a great relationship with those guys. My staff did an outstanding job of recruiting Blake. And Northern Kentucky sells itself now. You get BB&T Arena here, there's nothing like selling the quality of life in Northern Kentucky.
That's right.
No matter what of the 36 towns that we live in. So I'm really excited about Blake. He's got a Steve Nash quality to him, the way he makes other people better. He's got a toughness and a swagger about him. And he's also a guy that went to the semifinals of the state, so he's a winner.
Okay, another guy who's kind of a newcomer, but he was in the program that gets forgotten about, but a transfer that you brought in from Alabama, who I've seen practice a little bit, and he's a stud, and that's Jeff Garrett.
Jeff Garrett, a 6'6", 225-pound wing from Gadsden, Alabama, and he transferred here from the University of Alabama. I got a chance to coach Jeff. Now, the thing about Jeff that people don't know is he redshirted at Alabama, he redshirted here, so he has yet to play a college basketball game. And that'll be an adjustment for him. Tremendous athlete, tremendous talent. I talked about our need to become longer, more athletic. I want to play more of the style of play. Jeff Garrett defines the style of play.
Okay. Now, we were just talking off camera before. We're both Northern Kentucky guys, and so we've come across a lot of the same coaches growing up, and they always told us players are made during the summer as opposed to during the season, and the summer workouts begin. Kind of break that down and what you have in mind for the guys to improve.
Well, Brady, we'll do this May. We'll watch every single possession of our players, individual possessions. So we'll take every one of the returnees and we'll watch all the possessions that they played this season. And we'll put together, based on that, the things that they've got to get better in, the things that they've got to strengthen, the things that they already do well to continue to maintain that. Now, the balancing act is this. We'll have 8 weeks in the summer, so the first 4 weeks will be more skill development. When I took over the job last year, I made everything team-oriented. We were just putting in a system. I don't want to do that as much this summer. My plan is to make it more skill development, and then as we transition into the later part of the summer, how that can tie into the team atmosphere. So it's great because it'll allow the freshmen to transition, it'll build a bond with the older guys, and we'll get to work right away. It starts June 6th. It can't get here fast enough for me. For the guys, I'm sure they'd like to have a little bit of a break, but we're really excited about getting going this summer. This is the biggest spring and summer of NKU basketball history. I'm not going to overstate it. This is a huge spring and summer for us with 5 newcomers and 7 returnees. The opportunity to put those guys together and get better is going to be a big part of our success this season.
And not just that, it's an opportunity to have a chance to play in the NCAA Tournament, and that's something that everybody's been waiting for through this period, and it's finally here. Talk about the excitement that brings.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that once the guys come together as a group. You know, at this level, it comes down to 3 games in March, and you build towards that. You know, Coach Saban had a great quote when I was at Alabama. For in football terms, it's not the 13 Saturdays, it's the 300, and I'm not good at math, but 352 other days.
I'm not either, communications major.
Yeah, Campbell County grad. It's 352 other days of the year that really matter. So if we're going to build towards that, Brady, and it is a build, we're still in the building process of this program, it's going to take place now and all those days leading up.
All right, well, this is just a preview to that, and we're glad that you were able to join us for the first of our Facebook Live chats here, Northern Kentucky University. Just go to facebook.com/NKU Norse. You can follow the program on Twitter at NKU Norse. You can follow this guy, Coach Brannon. John, excellent having you here for the maiden voyage.
I hope the fans enjoyed it. Now, let's continue to talk about NKU basketball all summer. There's nothing else going on, right? We got the Reds.
That's right. But, you know, there's probably nothing going else.
June, July.
Let's
talk
right.
NKU.
And that's one thing, too. There's a really good summer Pro-Am league over in Cincinnati that the guys have probably an opportunity to sign up for if they feel like it.
Yeah, we may look into that. And the other thing I'll mention is we do have our basketball camps this summer in June. It's JohnBrannonBasketballCamps.com, JohnBrannonBasketballCamps.com. It'll be here at our new rec center. Some of them will also be here in BB&T Arena. So the youth of Northern Kentucky, greater Cincinnati area to come over and get used to being on our campus and show them a little bit of basketball. We'll have one in June and one in July.
All right. For Coach John Brannon, this is Brady Labor saying goodbye for now, and tune in to NKUNorse.com and check out the Facebook.com/NKU Norse for Facebook Live chats coming out throughout the offseason.